We've already taken a look at how to evaluate trig functions using our calculator when our angles were measured in degrees. Let's see what to do when our angles are measured in radians. And so I can tell that these are radian measures because there's no degree symbol and you see the pi. Not that there's always pi in radians, but it's a pretty good guess if you see pi, you're in radians. So first thing is I have to make sure my calculator is in the right mode. So press the mode button and now make sure radians is selected. You have to do this every time. If you're not in the right mode, every single problem will be wrong, and that's really bad. So now that I'm in radian mode, I can go ahead and use my calculator to evaluate these. But remember, if I have one of my special angles, I don't want to use my calculator. I want to go to my chart and get my exact values. The way you'll know that a radian is one of your special angles or special measures is that your denominator will be a 3, 4, or 6, because those will be equivalent to 30 degrees, 45 degrees, or 60 degrees in one of the quadrants. So pi over 3 is a special angle. In fact, that's just 60 degrees. So using my chart, I can look that up. Cosine of pi over 3 is 1/2. Well, since 1/2 is a nice decimal, I suppose let's just see what happens. If I type in cosine of pi, it's right there, divided by 3, I can see that, yeah, it does come up just 0.5. That's not the case over here. Pi over 6, again, is a special angle. Pi over 6 is 30 degrees. So I will not use a calculator. I'll look that up in my chart and find my exact value to be the square root of 3 over 3. If I try to do that on a calculator, you'll see that I will get an irrational decimal. It's equivalent to square root of 3 over 3. But even if I try to change that into a fraction, since it's irrational, it's impossible to write it as a fraction. It won't do it for you. So I don't want that decimal. I don't want 0.577. I want this, square root of 3 over 3. Anyway, these bottom two, these angles are not special angles. 8 and 9 are not special denominators, so I can use a calculator and just get decimals for these. There is no cotangent button, though. So as we talked about in the previous video, the only way to type in cotangent is to recognize that it's the reciprocal of tangent. And so I have to type this in as 1 divided by the tangent, and that's the only way to do it. You can't do, some people know it's reciprocal, so they try to flip 8 over pi, and that's always going to get you the wrong answer. You have to type in 1 divided by tangent of pi over 8. That's the only way to get cotangent. That will get you your approximate answer. Decimals are okay for these because they're not special denominators. They're not special angles. So I round off always to 4 decimal places with these. Okay? Last one we'll do then is the cosecant. I need to recognize that cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. And so the only way to enter this in a calculator is to do 1 divided by sine. Some people think like this means second sine, and that's not at all the same thing. The only way to do it is to do this as a reciprocal of 1 divided by sine, and then of whatever you got. So we got 2 pi, and then over 9. And I can see that that's where I got the 1.5557 from.